Good day, everyone. In the news now is an article that came out in last week already, and I've been topping and turning around when and how I should cover this. And this is very important to understand based on the mainstream media, what they are portraying. And I want to bring you my perspective, and I'm not going to get involved in a Russia Ukrainian conflict. I'm going to tell you about something that the president of Ukraine has done, and I want you to reflect on what that means for what they call the Western world or the new world order that they are creating, as one of the MPs in the Ukrainian parliament has said, and many things that the president of the US, Joe Biden, has said. So what the president of Ukraine has done, Zelensky, is he's gone and banned 11 political parties, okay, that they say have links to Russia. Now, when you're in what they call a democracy in Ukraine, then you have to ask yourself the question, if those people represent people in the country that are supportive of Russia, then that's what they do. In a democracy, you have a right to feel a certain way, to behave a certain way, to be aligned to whoever you want. That is what a democracy is. So I want to quickly unpack this article that's from The Guardian. There were many mainstream media outlets that carried this. And the interesting thing is the slant that they have. In other words, the concern that I have is the fact that, is this the kind of democracy that the Western world is aspiring to? One where someone in a leadership role can dictate to other political parties if they don't like them or their agenda, then you get rid of them and you still call it a democracy, because that is exactly what the US and many other European countries have done. And you need to take note of this, because this can very quickly happen elsewhere, even in South Africa. Ukraine suspends 11 political parties with links to Russia. Now, I don't know how confirmed this fact is that they have links to Russia, but in South Africa, we have political parties with links to who knows who, whoever pays the most money. Zelensky says parties such as Viktor Medvedchuk's opposition Platform for Life are aimed at division or collusion. Division. Now, all over the world, if a party wants to divide, like for instance the EFF that wants to split people along certain ideological lines, then that is what they do. In a democracy, they can absolutely do that. They're allowed to do that. Collusion, goodness gracious, if you're talking about collusion with regards to South African political parties, you have to throw them all out. So what on earth is it actually trying to say? 11 Ukrainian political parties have been suspended because of their links with Russia, according to the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Now, this guy's a dictator. He's a nutcase. He's a trained actor that, does the most provocative things. And he is there to put on an act for the world, and he has absolutely performed. And soon he'll be at the Oscars, where he belongs. Based on Sean Penn saying that he will melt these two Oscars if Zelensky is not allowed to be at the Oscars. Now, the irony is just so palpable. The country's National Security and Defense Council took the decision to ban the parties from any political activity. Most of the parties affected were small, but one of them, the opposition Platform for Life, has 44 seats in the 450-seat Ukrainian parliament. That's about 10% of the seats, and they were banned. The activities of those politicians aimed at division or collusion will not succeed, but will receive a harsh response, Zelensky said in a video address on Sunday. He's a flippant dictator. That's what he is. So why does the Western world portray this piece of trash as a democratic president? Why do the Western world portray him as that? Do they want to become that way? Does Biden want to behave this way in the US? Do the presidents of all the other countries in Europe, does the president of Canada, does he want to behave that way? Ban other parties and then say that they are colluding with XYZ or whatever the case may be. Is this what democracy is going to be in future? I will put links to this article in the description below this video, as well as in the first comment, and you can subscribe to the channel if you want to look at further content and understand how I give perspective on history as well as the future. You can join this channel as a member and you can go and watch all the membership content. You can join us Thursday evening at 8 o'clock for my latest information on what is happening in the world. And I have a theme for each one of these Thursday night 8 o'clock sessions. And you can go and look at the past history and watch all of that content when you become a member of the channel. There's about 1,000 of us, a really awesome community. And he's saying here the activities of those politicians aimed at division or collusion will not succeed but will receive a harsh response. What does he mean by that? In a democracy, if you have a proper constitution, but remember, Zelensky took the country in a coup. This is what people forget, a Western coup. These are other countries using him as a tool. And one day they will also probably hang him, just like they did with Saddam Hussein, or end up killing him like with Gaddafi. Therefore, the National Security and Defense Council decided, given the full-scale war unleashed by Russia and the political ties that a number of political structures have with this state, to suspend any activity of a number of political parties for the period of martial law, the Ukrainian leader said. This guy is a nutcase, a complete and utter nutcase. And if you actually look at the rest of the article, you will see their spin. And it's a spin that is important. See through these things, understand what it means. But what's important here is not what he's doing, because he's a paid actor. Okay? He's earning a fat salary and he's obviously been absolutely set up for this role. And he's playing it and he can probably get an Oscar for it. What is most important is what that means the Western leaders are saying about democracy. What a democracy means. Imagine in the US that Biden decides to ban parties and sees it as a political act within a democracy and justifies it under a state of emergency, or in this case where they are saying that they are in a state of war and they are under martial law. Imagine if this is considered normal and okay, what will happen in the US? Thank you very much for watching this video. Till the next video.